Hello everyone, and thanks so much for joining us on our special coverage of China's annual political season. I'm Zhong Shi, live in Beijing. China's advisory body, the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, or CPPCC, will soon meet the press and answer questions on key national issues at the members' corridor. We'll bring you live updates from the scene. Make sure you stay with us right here on CGTN. And Chinese President Xi Jinping has met national political advisors and attended a group meeting at the second session of the 14th National Committee of the CPPCC. Xi joined the discussion between political advisors from the Revolutionary Committee of the Chinese Kuomintang, the science and technology industry, and the environmental sector. During the meeting, he extended greetings to the nation's women ahead of International Women's Day, which falls on March the 8th. The Chinese president also recognized the achievements of the CPPCC in the past year in its political consultation and policy-making suggestions at the meeting. Xi urged political advisors from the Revolutionary Committee of the Chinese Kuomintang to unite with all patriotic forces at home and abroad and in Taiwan Island to jointly advance the peaceful reunification of China. Xi pointed out that advisors and workers from the sector of science and technology should assume the heavy responsibility of scientific and technological innovation. He stressed that political advisors of the environment and resources sector should make new contributions to strengthen ecological and environmental protection. The president also said the CPPCC should carry on its fine tradition and stay committed to its political responsibility, actively offer advice, and build consensus. Right now, CGTN reporter Li Zhao joins me from the Great Hall of the People with more information on what is happening today. Li Zhao, good morning to you. What do you have on today's event?
Good morning to you, Zhong Shi. As you said, right now I'm here inside the Great Hall of the People, the first floor to be exact. As you can probably see behind me, reporters are already lining up, and on this side, staff members are already setting up with the red carpet and the microphones. So just in a few minutes, we are expecting the members' corridor. What does that mean? So CPPCC members, also political advisors of this country, will be taking questions from the media. And this is actually the second corridor. The first one was held on March 4th. That was 3 days ago at the opening session of the country's top political advisory body. Now, some of the key aspects that we are expecting from today's corridor, including proposals and suggestions from the CPPCC members. They will give suggestions on the country's economic development, especially since the country has set its GDP growth target of around 5%. Now, many say that is a pretty ambitious target. So how to build a high-level socialist market economy system and also how to promote high-level opening up will be something that the country will be taking notes and suggestions from the political advisors. Now, another key word is called employment. Now, China has set its goal of creating 12 million new urban jobs, especially since this year. We are expecting a record high of 11.7 million new graduates entering the workforce. So how to help them to find a job will be something that concerns the political advisors. Now, other keywords including science and technology, environment, social security, and also people's livelihoods. Now, at today's corridor, we are expecting 8 to 10 political advisors answering questions based on their personal experience, their thoughts, and their suggestions. Now, after the corridor, the second session of the 14th CPPCC will hold its second plenary meeting. So that's about it for what we can expect from the CPPCC this morning. Back to you, Zhong Shi.
A lot is happening. CGTN reporter Li Zhao monitoring things for us at the Great Hall of People. Thank you so much. And the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference is the most powerful political advisory body here in China. It's mainly responsible for political consultation, democratic supervision, and the deliberation and administration of state affairs. Specifically, it discusses major principles and policies proposed by the central and local governments. The CPPCC gives proposals on matters concerning political, economic, cultural, and social affairs. It supervises the implementation of the Constitution and the country's rules and regulations. It also conducts investigations and studies into social conditions and popular sentiments. And joining me in the studio is John Gong, Vice President of Research and Strategy at the University of International Business and Economics, Israel. Professor Gong, a pleasure to have you as always. Good morning to you.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here in the studio.
Let's first talk about the CPPCC as a system. This is the advisory body, a political system of consultation and democratic supervision. Can I start with your take on its role and position in China's policy making here?
Well, I think an analogy might be made to, say, the lower house in the British political system. I mean, the organization functions in a sense of, proposing ideas, also playing a supervisory role. And we didn't see the word legislation, in the description. I think the CPPCC's function does have something to do with the legislation. In other words, they are in the early stage of making proposals, making regulations, ideas, proposals that might be made into law. Other things, policies, for example, they propose would be followed up by various ministries, which may turn into decrees and regulations. So I think it's, in a sense, it's part of the China's governance system, political governance system. It's a very integral piece of that political governance system. So in that regard, I think it's quite important for these members to meet at least once a year to discuss the usually important major policy issues concerning this country.
I mean, let's also point out that as political advisors, it's not their full-time job to advise politically. They all have their respective jobs in their different sectors of society. They come from the medical profession, they're engineers, they work in deep sea submersible, for example. So they bring their expertise really into the perspective here, and they know what is lacking in that sector, and they make proposals and suggestions accordingly.
Right. Yeah, well, you actually made a great point. I think this body is full of China's most, well-educated, highly professionally people with great achievements. In other words, these are really experts. I would describe them as the real alien societies of China, right? And their ideas, their proposals, their suggestions, recommendations really carry a lot of weight. So I think, these are very professional people. So I think in that regard, I would even characterize as the most highly educated body in China. Their advice would be taken very seriously, and they do talk to their audience, the people related to them, and they understand what's going on in society, what are the pressing issues of this country, and they also, interestingly, they also do a lot of sort of ad hoc investigations and research reports, and organized by the organization, by CPPCC, on issues really concerning really important issues of this country. So I think in this regard, this is an organization that's an integral piece of China's governance system, and their suggestions and ideas would be really contributing to the advancement of country's agenda.
What do you make of this meet and greet that we term as the members' corridor here, where the political advisors have a chance to address the press? Making their proposals, their suggestions known to a greater audience here. I mean, this is a relatively innovative way of having them meet members of the press, directly answer questions from the press. It started in 2018. It's been popular. People love seeing it. What do you make of this innovative way?
Well, I guess there are hundreds of people in this body, and a lot of people actually are not very well known to average folks, and it's a great opportunity for some of these people to enjoy some kind of a celebrity status, I guess, to be more well known among the public.
There are 15 minutes, if you will.
Exactly, a few minutes of celebrity status. It's a good thing, and I think it's also, I'm just kidding. I think more importantly, it's a great platform for these members to propose their own ideas, to convey their message to the public, and I think this is an important venue for them to convey, to message essentially the ideas they want to get across to the society, and I think the organization probably also select these people based on the kind of questions or proposals they're going to make, and in terms of the priorities, in terms of the importance of the proposals. And I think, by doing this, it also gives them, the opportunity to raise the more important questions. I mean, hundreds of proposals are being made right now, I guess. Certainly, there's going to be a priority among more important issues and less important issues.
I mean, the spotlight is not just shed on them, by giving them a window and a platform to speak. Really, the spotlight is focused on their proposals, their concerns, their observation of what is lacking in their respective fields, and that's really important. I also want to ask you about the makeup of the CPPCC members here. They come from ethnic minority groups.
Right.
They come from Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau, and they're all participating in making proposals. How important is that diversity in terms of the quality of the proposals, in terms of the representation of the proposals?
Yeah, well, at the very beginning, when the CPPCC was first established, the idea was to collect a group of people representing different parts of society, different geographic regions of society, and I think you mentioned more importantly, specifically areas in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, that's not directly in the central government's administration. And I think that's just an important thing, because China does have a imperative need for peaceful unification, as President Xi was just talking about this. So I think the idea of having more people representing different walks of life, different geographic areas is an important theme for the CPPCC. And we'll have to see what they're going to talk about. Especially, I'm very interested in people from Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan about to say what's on their agenda moving forward.
I mean, in a few minutes, we'll be meeting those members as they make their way to the members' corridor. What do you look forward to hearing? I mean, you're an economist. And we've seen the economic growth target set in the government work report this year. What do you look forward to hearing from the members? Their take on how we can sustain that growth target of around 5%? Or what are some of the other things that you look forward to finding out from them?
Well, I think during this year's two sessions, the economics and development have been an overwhelming dominant theme. I mean, we see this time after time and time after time. And actually, I'm not so much concerned about achieving a 5% GDP growth goal. What I do worry about is the job creation. I think 12 million jobs is a very large number.
I mean, let's talk about that target here. I mean, China created 12.44 million urban jobs last year. It's set around the same target this year. Over 12 million jobs are set to be created. We heard our reporter talking about the number of college graduates topping 11 million here.
Right.
How do all these numbers fit into the bigger employment picture here?
Yeah, well, China needs new jobs in the amount of about 10 million, 12 million new jobs every year to sustain economic growth, to essentially also maintain social stability. I mean, you have a lot of unemployed people, and it's going to be a problem. And it's a big, increasing challenge in my view. As the economy is transforming itself, I think we are, I suspect there's a structural change going on in the labor market, in the sense that more and more jobs are actually being, replaced by machines. We are rapidly entering the AI era. The impact of AI is penetrating in all aspects of the economy, all aspects of society. And how do people respond to that challenge? How history usually shows that at a moment like this, usually a lot of jobs are being lost. At the same time, more jobs are actually being created, right?
Yes.
This was witnessed in the Industrial Revolution, for example, and we're indeed entering into another round of Industrial Revolution, in my view. So the challenge is how the labor market responds to that transformation and prepare people for the new skill sets, for the new economy, for the digital economy, for the economy of AI. And I think that's a huge challenge, whether this transition can happen smoothly or not. This calls upon the responsibilities of the universities community, I guess. So I'm also, I'm actually also interested in hearing some people from the university community, from the higher education industry, to talk about, this issue about employment.
I think, will you talk about the labor market responding to this? We're 30 minutes away, 30 seconds away, excuse me, from the members' corridor. When we talk about the labor market responding to all of this, what are the roles of universities? For example, how would you advise your students differently facing this? Hold that thought, Professor. This is a great topic. Let's come back to that later in the program. Okay. But for now, let's turn to the Great Hall of the People, where the members' corridor is very much happening. Members of CPPCC are now taking questions from the press. Let's take a listen.
The second members' corridor of the second session of the 14th CPPCC. We are here at the Great Hall of the People, inviting members of the CPPCC to answer questions from the media. Now the floor is open. Please bring on the first batch of members. Please introduce yourselves. Good morning. I'm a member of CPPCC. My name is Zheng Jun. I come from the number 2 Normal College of Hubei Province. My name is Zhang Haihua. I come from Harbin. I'm a member of CPPCC. My name is Huang Baorong. I come from the Gansu Provincial Department of Industry and Information. Now the floor is open for questions. First question, please. Thank you very much. I'm with CMG. My question is to Zheng Jun. In a government work report, it was pointed out to build a high-quality teachers team. Normal schools and colleges, they are the productive center for teachers. In your standard, what is a good teacher and how do you cultivate good teachers? Thank you for your question. Each and every one of us have our own standards of a good teacher. We always remember the good moments that we have spent with our teachers. Teachers, they are quite influential. We have more than 10 million teachers across the nation supporting and teaching more than 300 million students. And they also involve the concerns of more than 800 million parents. Teachers are respected across the society, and our families and our society need good teachers, and good teachers, they are just around us. In 2023, Hubei launched a campaign of selecting the best teachers around ourselves, and we have selected numerous good stories about good teachers which have touched tens of thousands of households. And those are the unsung heroes behind us, and they have the students in their mind. They're willing to overcome difficulties and take responsibilities. They are the masters of our students, and they have shouldered the spirit as educators. And we had a teacher whose name is Wang Zhijun. He is from Qingyang of Hubei province. He takes the school as his home, and for decades he was rowing the ferry for his students. And in his home village, there were 46 students who ended up in the college. But time and again, he had given up opportunities to teach in urban areas. He shouldered up the dream of those rural students to go out of the mountains. So it is very fortunate for one person to have a good teacher. It is also a glory of a school to have good teachers. No matter it is the doctors, engineers, or craftsmen in the future, or astronauts, scientists, and drivers, and the talents of our society in the future, they all require great teachers. At present, without good teachers, there is no good education. We have to cultivate good teachers with good education. Normal schools and universities, we are the main force in cultivation of good teachers, and we are supporting higher education as well as basic education. In our practice, we have established a comprehensive and full-dimensional teacher training system, forming a community of joint education and cultivation for teachers. We invited middle school and primary school teachers to campuses of universities, and we also bring college graduates to middle school and primary school. Normal colleges over the years have cultivated a great number of teachers across the society. Hu Qingqing, who is a college graduate of ours, she became an English teacher in Anma town of Hubei province. And after graduation, she has to work as a teacher and travel and commute 30 to 40 kilometers per day. And she said that she's working so hard today because one day her students can have bigger dreams realized tomorrow. Respecting the teachers has been a fine tradition of ours, and this year we're going to celebrate the 40th Teachers' Day. I want to say that as long as we can work together as one society, as long as we advocate the fine tradition of respecting teachers, then teachers will become a job of envy. Because with good teachers, we can have good education. With good education, we can have a stronger China. Thank you very much.
Next question.
好，东西这位白色衣服的戴眼镜的女记者。
Thank you. From Economic Daily, and my question goes to member Zhang Haihua. This winter, Harbin was popular. What are the enlightenments we can derive from your experience of tourism to support the rejuvenation in northeastern China and open a new chapter of your economy? Thank you for the question. Today, I would love to take this opportunity to share with everyone here in the Great Hall of the People, and to thank every one of you for your visits and your support of Harbin. Thank you for your interest in Harbin, in the ice and snow-based tourism, and northeastern China's economic rejuvenation. We hope to dig deeper into our economic development and to present a more popular image. For example, the penguin used to be the ambassador for Harbin's tourism last year. And in the winter time on the streets, we have welcomed a large number of visitors. And northeastern China's industrial bases are concerned by a large majority of the people. And right because of the joint efforts of the civilians, the governments, we could support the rejuvenation of the industrial bases in northeastern China. This year is also a hopeful year. Harbin became popular thanks to the ice and snow-based tourism, and we hope that we could get off to a good start in the entire northeastern China. And the Central Street and the Harbin Great World welcomed a large number of tourists, allowing us to witness the pickup of China's economy. And for Harbin, there will be new events to be held, and we will shoulder more responsibilities as a new IP carrier, and we are more confident that the ice and snow world will also be the gold and silver mountains, and we hope that with our efforts we could better support and underpin the full rejuvenation of northeastern China, which boasts the industrial bases and a unique geographical location. We are an important industrial base and the barn of grains in China. Also, we are home to a large number of research institutes and higher learning institutions. We must tap into those potential and shoulder our due responsibility so as to break a new trail of high-quality growth and sustainable rejuvenation. Because of our popularity, I think our economy will be more promising.
This year will be the 30th year of the implementation of the strategy of Northeast rejuvenation. So starting from this winter, we are convinced that if we rally together, we will surely contribute to the new journey of the national rejuvenation with new achievements to be made. Last winter, we have welcomed visitors from Taiwan, China to experience the happy time here. And when they left, they lingered on this tourist spot. And I sincerely invite them to visit us again in the summer vacation. And I will show you the cranes. So, dear friends, I will be here waiting for you in Heilongjiang. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Zhang. Next question, please. Please raise your hand if you have a question. Thank you. I'm with Xinhua News Agency. My question is to Huang Baorong. So you are from the old industrial base of China, which is Gansu province. In your eyes, Gansu is a place with a high proportion of traditional industry. How does this province embrace the role of new type of industrialization? And how fresh is this new type of industrialization? Thank you very much for your question. Talking about the western part of China and Gansu, you will think of the ancient Silk Road, the Dunhuang Grotto, and also the camels and merchants team. Apart from the fine and profound history, in 1872, we have actually pioneered China's modern industry with the Northwest China Industrial Bureau. We had the first oil field of China. We also launched the first manned satellite and also the first manned space program from northwestern part of China. So the province of Gansu has witnessed China's industrial development over the years. Talking about the new type of industrialization, what comes into your mind might be those new and killer products of the country. Actually, it is not entirely so. Let me share with you one story. Jiaoju is especially in northwestern part of China. No one thought that it could become a special industry in China. We had a college graduate called Wang Jun who used to work in coastal regions of China, and a couple of years ago he went back and focused on this Jiaoju industry. He's working together with Lanzhou University. After 14,000 experiments, he introduced Jiaoju instant noodles and rice noodles, which are very popular amongst the general consumers, so that those working elsewhere, they can have a taste of home, of Gansu. And many people have leveraged this opportunity to support digitalized and standardized operation so that they can scale up this local specialty food into a successful industry. And they have also come up with a bigger industry and supply chain benefiting a great number of people so that people can work right in their homes. And gradually, a small industrial cluster has been formed in Gansu. We are an old industrial base. To flourish our economy, we have to boost our industry. And that is why over the years we have been bringing in front-running major enterprises so as to improve the modern information-based economy and develop the high-quality, new quality productive forces. And we have been developing new energy and new energy equipment manufacturing base and new material manufacturing base. And now in Gansu, you can see a lot of wind farms, which is reminiscent of a on-the-land three-gorges dam. And we're also leveraging digital technology. Jingchuan Corporation, which is sitting on the land of nickel. Within half a year, it has developed a new material, filling the gap of raw material and new material in China. In Lanzhou, we have a modern physics research laboratory, which independently rolled out a heavy plasma accelerator, and right now its technology is applied in multiple sectors in Gansu. Gansu today is taking the ride of China's rapid development. We are implementing the concept of new type of industrialization in every sector so that we can demonstrate new endeavors and new successes. We sincerely hope that all the friends and investors can come into Gansu to have a taste of our beef noodle and to have a taste of our local specialty food. Thank you. Thank you to all the three members.
Now, let's welcome the second group of members. Please introduce yourselves. Hello, everyone. I am CPPCC member, and I come from Hunan, from the grassroots level. Hello, everyone. My name is Tang Xudong, CPPCC member from Xiyuan Hospital. Good morning, everyone. My name is An Ting from CGTN International Cultural Development Corporation. Now we open the floor to questions. Thank you. From Hubei Daily. My question goes to Shu Yong. As an artist, what do you think does it mean to create the symbol for China? And what do you think you can do to contribute to tell the Chinese story and to create the symbols to represent China? Thank you for the questions. As a person coming from the artistic circle, I will stage exhibitions nationwide. Every time I paid visit to a new place, I intuitively searched for something I was familiar with to lead the way. Once I could find the symbols like the Chinese logos or the red flag or the lanterns, I was emboldened. And I could find my way out because of those familiar symbols representing China. They rendered hope to me. And in those years, in the process of my international communication, I found something interesting. And they told me that whenever they thought about China, not only Great Wall or the Palace Museum would come to their mind, but they also had experiences of, for example, enjoying the roasted ducks or buying the NEVs from China. Sometimes they said that they even have tasted the food from Hunan province. Those made in China examples are becoming the cultural symbols of China. People from different backgrounds in the world are taken together. They could feel compassion for us. And I think those could represent the significance of cultural symbols. The Chinese civilization is grand and profound with a long history. Starting from the Chinese civilization, how could we create the cultural symbols of this new era? That's the question in my mind for a very long time. And in China, there is a saying that we should come up with new ideas in the new circumstances. So the Chinese civilization could be the carrier. And against the background of unprecedented transformations in this new era, communication is ever more important. So, following the prototype of Zhaozhou Bridge, I also took into consideration of the examples of the worldwide constructions to create a new example. And I hope to follow the spirit of building a community of shared future for mankind. And when that new bridge was exhibited worldwide. The beautiful intonations of the Chinese culture left a deep impression on people from the world. So the Chinese voice was transmitted to every corner of this world. And I hope to create better cultural symbols to represent China, and that is one good way to tell Chinese story in this new era. However, to create the national level cultural symbols take a long time. It's a systemic national project, and we must elevate it to be a national strategy in our actual execution process. After 10 years of experience accumulation, our new bridge was a familiar symbol to everyone right now, but it's still just the beginning. And in the future, in about 100 cities around the world, we will create 100 Silk Road gold bridges alike. I hope that the Chinese culture and civilization could be more influential and better present the amicable image of China. China's modernization will be more understandable to the world. Thank you.
好，谢谢委员，请记者提问。
Next question, please.
请西区那位穿白色西服的女记者提问。
谢谢主持人，我是人民政协报
Thank you. I'm
全委
with
记者提
People's
问唐旭东委员。
CPPCC. My question is to Tang Xudong. In the fields of traditional Chinese medicine, you have many years of practice. And tell us the advantages of TCM. And what are the better approaches to better leverage the role of TCM? Thank you for your question. Over the past 3 years, during the fight against COVID-19, we have used both Western medicine and traditional Chinese medicine. The particular value and efficacy of TCM has been demonstrated so that the profound TCM has garnered new glory. For TCM, it might seem magical and mysterious. It is difficult for people of contemporary times to understand the theory of TCM, but it's truly magical. It can cure cold and chronic disease and very difficult diseases. We have many different types of diseases, for example, herpes, and when you have it, it's very itchy. And if you use TCM, such as acupuncture and cupping, it can cure the pain and remove the disease very quickly without giving you any side symptoms. And also we have some high coughs. In Chinese traditional medicine, we call it the wind coughing. Apart from that, the wisdom and practices of TCM have been deeply rooted into the life of ordinary Chinese. For example, if you have inner hate and fever in summer, you can simply drink some soybean soup. You can also practice the Ba Duan Jin boxing. You can do some workouts. Then it's very conducive to your health. The special characteristics and advantages of TCM can be summarized as comprehensive thinking, dialectical thinking. It believes that man are an integral part of nature, and we also advocate targeted and precise medicine. We look at the different symptoms and characteristics of different symptoms, and when we are curing patients, we look at the patient systems in general and as a whole, and then we come up with a comprehensive and targeted solution. And this is very good and effective to chronic diseases. Reality has shown that the experience of TCM has been very useful, and to you has worked out Ottoman signing, which is out of the inspiration from thousands of years ago. And in recent years, some of the major decisions have been, there are some major decisions made by CPC Central Committee and the government. And last year, China has introduced the rejuvenation plan for major TCM practices. TCM is an embodiment of the Chinese philosophy, the Chinese wisdom, as well as the Chinese thinking on health for millennia. It is a national treasure of China and also the key to the civilization of China. And right now, TCM has spread to more than 190 countries in the whole world. So we need to refresh and we need to further paint the credit card of China's TCM, and make the best use of this shining card, so that in the future, I believe that different authorities should work together, and TCM soups and TCM tablets, they can be subject to standardized and systemic regulation and management, so that the consumers, they can truly be entitled to good medicine. We also need to strengthen research on the application and research of TCM. In particular, we have to focus on pre and early warnings, and also carry out researches on how to cure major diseases using both TCM and the Western medicine, so that TCM can truly benefit the whole world. Thank you.
Next question.
好，东区中介这位穿白色西服的女记者。
谢谢主持人，我是澎湃新闻的记者，我的问题想提给安婷委员。
From the paper,
作为一
and
名
my
扎
question
根一
goes to
线的
member
文艺工
Anting.
作者，您觉得
As
在
an
一部部
artistic
经典的
representative
文
in
艺
the
作品中，
grassroots level,
真
in
正
one
打动
classic
大家的内容
artistic
是什么？
masterpiece, what
您
do
认
you
为应该
think
如
is the
何打
thing
造老百
that
姓喜欢的、能
could
打动人心的
be
经典舞
felt
台艺术
by
作
the
品？
audience,
谢谢。
and how to create a classic masterpiece that could touch people's souls? The general public prefer to enjoy and appreciate those artistic examples. And it's the same thing with me. When I was young, I preferred one show, and when the last message was sent by the performer, I seemed to hear the sounds of this person sending the radio waves. And years after, we could present the 5G technology on the stage. And in the show, the protagonist Li Xia gave farewell to the family members. And this person knew exactly that he was unable to see his child to be born in the new China. And there are so many heroes in the revolutionary years, just like Li Xia, who have disappeared like him, just like the radio waves disappearing in the air. But because of those people, happiness was shared among more people. And we are never in shortage of heroes or the masterpieces to give our tributes to the heroes. We need to use more good works to tell the stories of those people. And allow me to share one with you. When we practiced the play called the Triangle Hill to better present this battle, in the hottest season, all our performers turned off the fans and the air conditioners. 16 performers shared with each other one bottle of water. Under the temperature of 40 degrees, they crawled on the floor wearing thick layers. I think it's nothing compared to the real battlefield, but we still hope to do our bits to show what our volunteering fighters have been through to bring us a happy life today. Every time when the show was over, on the stage, all the performers would sing the song called My Motherland. And when the first lyric was sung out, all the audience would sing along with the performers. In those moments, I think even the makeups fade away on the faces of our performers, and the audience have tears in their eyes. The song was not over, and the show will be on forever. those past times have seen a rising number of heroes. There are so many good examples of the era to be staged. We believe that with the long river running forward, love will linger on, just like faith. And when we look at the bright lights at night time and think back about those touching moments on the stage, you would agree when I say that it is thanks to the people to create such a plateau of heroes. And the Chinese style of modernization is the grandest stage for all Chinese people. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the 3 members of CPPCC. Next, let's bring on the next batch of CPPCC members. Please introduce yourselves. Good morning. I'm CPPCC member Deng Ling. I come from Chongqing. Good morning. My name is Mei Yu, a CPPCC member. I come from the Xinjiang Water Conservancy Group. Good morning. My name is Dawa Zhenju, a CPPCC member. I come from the Xinjiang Agriculture Academy. Now the floor is open. First question, please. Thank you. I'm with China Society Daily. My question is to Deng Ling. You are a CPPC member who used to work at the community level, and tell us what are the new changes of community services and what it is your opinion to improve the experience of those who live at the grassroots community. Thank you very much. Each and every one of us live in a social community, and it's our home. It embodies people's expectation for a better life. I believe that the services at your doorstep is closely related to your happiness and security. A few days ago at Yuzhong district of Chongqing, I paid a visit to a community. I saw a 80-year-old. I was told that because of his age, he's suffering a lot of difficulties in purchasing the daily groceries and cooking. But right now we have a community-level cafeteria which offers fresh food to the elderly in a community. And we also have all sorts of community activities that the old couples are now feeling very satisfied. So community service aims at delivering convenience and happiness to all the residents. And we also have the party mass service center. We have a convenience service center, and many of the communities, they have the elderly care center. They also have a nursery center for the kids and the elderly, and we give particular support to the vulnerable. So each community is related to the success of a society as well as the success of a nation. According to the 14th five-year plan, there are a great portion of contents that is about community service. I believe that in the future there will be more and better services at the community level for our residents. For the second part of your question, well, let me tell you that I have been engaged in community service for quite a number of years. What I feel very strongly is that community service is a big chorus which requires the support and participation of all sides. We are right now piloting a new approach which we try to mobilize resources from all sides to solve people's sorrows and pains. I paid a visit to the Liangjiang New District of Chongqing. At Xingfu Road, I met with Madam Wang, who is sitting on the wheelchair, but she gives people this feeling of confidence and optimism. But after learning her story, I was more than touched and inspired. He was paralytic when she was born. Prior to the age of 36, she has been confined in her home. She didn't know how to communicate with the outside. Thanks to the support of community volunteers and community workers, she walked out of her door and became part of the society. She herself even became a volunteer at her community, delivering more warmth to people around her. So this is how people support each other in a mutual way, and there are countless stories of this kind. Our home is the smallest nation, and our nation consists of millions of households and families, and we as the party and the CPPCC, we aim at delivering warmth to millions of households. Thank you.
Next question.
请东区这位参提问。依旧提问。
谢谢主持人。中央广播电视总台央广
From
记者提问。
CMG.
我的问题想提给
My
梅玉委
question
员。
goes to
梅
Member
委员您
Mei
好，
Yu.
您来
Good
自大
morning.
美新疆。 新疆做好
You
水
come
文
from
章
the
有哪
beautiful
些故
province
事
of
可以跟我们
Xinjiang,
分享？
and
您
you're
认
in the
为
business
让
of
水
water
资源成为
conservancy.
中
So,
国经济
do you
社
have
会
any
高质量
stories
发
to
展的
share?
原
And
动
for
力
water
有什么
resources
秘
to
诀？
become the everlasting driver behind high-quality economic growth? What are the factors that play? Thank you for the questions. Xinjiang is very special. It's a dry inland province. The average occupancy of water resources is about 3,227 cubic meters per person, ranking among the top in China. But the unit water content is only above 10,000 cubic meters. That's about 1/6 of the national average. But we have been doing one thing, that is to have highly efficient utilization of water resources to support high quality growth. So now I would love to share with you about the stories of water resource tapping in Xinjiang. In Kashgar County of Xinjiang, there were about 116 households living there, having difficulties to have drinking water. In the summertime, they have to live along the waterway, distant from the settlement. In 2023, I visited this village. In the summertime, the villager took me to his home, showing me the water tap, saying that that was the most treasurable thing in my family. We could have access to the drinkable water now. And according to my knowledge, in 2018, the local government invested 3 million RMB yuan to solve the drinking water issue. And for every household, the investment amounted to over 110,000 RMB yuan. And there are 67 such places in Xinjiang, just like that village. And we have gone all out to solve the last 1 kilometer issue to access the drinking water. And according to the statistics, since the 13th five-year period in Xinjiang, we have invested 19 billion RMB yuan in total to complete 28 drinking water projects. And about 3,366 villages have solved the problem of drinking water. Now people could be reassured to access the drinking water. Another story to be shared. In Qitai County of Xinjiang Province, which was deficient in drinking water, and it's also the base for the grain production, contributing to the whole province's grain production. In Yaozhan's village of that county, it's another good example. There were about 25,000 mu arable land. We built pipelines to irrigate the farmland, and we also could offer smart technologies to the farmers. The unit yield has created new records for years in a row. Meanwhile, we have transmitted the good examples to have a contracted arable land of 250,000 mu, and the disposable income was over 30,000 RMB yuan per capita last year. And we have also established efficient irrigated arable land amounting to about 6,000 mu. So that was above the national average, especially last year. The sowing area increased and the total yield also rose up, ranking the top in China. So we are convinced that as long as we aim at the target and continue the efforts, Xinjiang will have a more promising future. Thank you.
Next question, please.
灰色西服的记者提问。
谢谢主持人，我是中广记者。
Thank you. I'm
我的问
with
题提给
China
顿诸委员。
Broadcasting News,
青
and
稞
my
是
question
适当的
is
主要粮食
to
作物。
Dava
作为
Dunju.
青稞研究的专家，您当前
And
关注
barley
青稞哪
is
些方面
one
的研究？
local specialty
有
of
什么具体进
Xizang.
展？
As an expert
另外，
in
随着科研成果的
barley,
持续转化和推广，
what
下
is
一步
your
如
research
何实现
achievement
青稞产量更高，
recently, and how do you
综合
plan
效益更
to
好？谢谢。
improve the production
谢谢您。
and overall yield of
谢谢
barley?
您对西藏
Thank you very much for your
根在高
question,
原，心系国事，不懈奋
and
战
thank you
是我
for
们
paying attention to the highland barley of Xizang.
每一位科技工作者的真实
We, as a
发展高原农业。
Scientech practitioner, we have been
我从事青稞
working
研究
for
有
decades
15年，
in
在
Xizang.
西
I have
藏
been
青稞试煮
researching
还用来
barley
做
for
糌粑
15
青稞
years.
可以说
In
青稞
Xizang, barley
贯
is
穿的
used
是西藏的
to
昨天、
manufacture
今天和明
wine.
天。
So
对青稞
barley
事业的
has
执着和
told the
经验
story of
始终伴随我
Xizang
们每
of
一位
yesterday,
青稞
today,
研究
and
者的
tomorrow.
前行的历程。
So
近些
barley
年，
has
我们团队
also
一直在研究
witnessed
如何
our
改良
research
冬青稞
journey,
来
and in
优
recent
化
years
调
we
整
have
西
been
藏的风
refining
险，
the wind
在
barley
保
so
障
as
粮
to
食产量的同时，
optimize
提
the
高土地
green
生效率，
structure
保护
of
好生态环
Xizang,
境。
and in meantime we
与这
can
个春青
protect
稞
the soil and
冬
the
青稞是10
eco
月份播
environment.
种
Winter
，4
barley
年7月
is
收
sold
获。因此，
in
收获冬青
October
稞之
and
后，可以
harvested
再负种
in the
1/4
next
这样一
July.
来，我们既可以实现这
So
个
this
粮食增产，
allows
同
us
时我们
to
还可以利用
improve
这个
the yield
宿
of
主的豆子
barley,
丝藻的生
and
物质的
also
作用
we
来
can
改善耕地质量，
use
而且
some
更重要
new
的是，提高了
biotechnology
冬季
to
植被的覆盖度，
improve
并且
the
为野生
production.
禽类提供
In the
这个冬
meantime,
季的
we
食
have
物，而且
dramatically enhanced the green coverage so that we can fight against soil erosion.
畜有草，地有肥，鸟有屎的
So
农
at
业
the end of the day, we can use the barley straw to feed the
在嘉
cows.
峪乡，老百
I
姓
paid a visit
收
to
获冬
a
青稞之
county
后
in
再
Xizang.
复
I
种
saw
荞
the
麦，收获
farmers
荞麦籽粒以后，研发各种荞麦
replanting
的产
the
品，
winter
这样子
barley
呢，
after their
老百姓
autumn
的收入提
harvest.
高了，
This, on the
主要
one
是
hand, has
这个
increased
耕地的
their
价值
income.
得到了最大化，
On the other
而且
hand, they
有
have
效地保护了
maximized
土壤。
their farming activity and protected the soil conditions. You also asked about
效益。那么
the
2023
overall
年，我们全
efficiency
区
of
农业事业发
barley
展平稳，
plantation. In 2023, green
这里头
output
呢，主要是
reached
青稞的贡献，而且全
more
区
than
已经实现了
1.8
种面
million
积超
tons,
过
and this is
18万
mainly contributed
拉萨
by
市的宁
barley.
县呢，也
In
完成了
Ningzhi County
水培
of
一体的
Lhasa,
现代化农业事业，
we
正在
have
探索
piloted
高海拔
this
地区
modern
的
agriculture
冬青稞事业。
using
其实啊，这个从
drip
一月
irrigation
度的青稞到改变老百姓的
from
作息
winter barley
这个过程
to
其实是并不
the
容易
change of
在党的领
planting
导下
style of
政策引导有
the
力，
ordinary
群众呢参与支持
Cubanos.
我们的工
This
作，
is a
而
hard
且
journey.
广大干部群
We
众
have
付出了
received great
非常大
support
的
from the CPC,
所
and
以怎
our
么样把
cutters
这
and
个
the general
长远
public have
利
been
益
working
长
very
远
hard
计落
at
实
the
到
same
位
time,
这是我
so
们每一位
we
青稞研
can
究者的
truly
使命和责
improve the
任。
yield of
现在我
barley.
们全区
And
各
right
族
now,
干部群众团结
in
奋斗，
the
各项
Xizang
事业
Autonomous
取得了
Region,
全方位的
all the
进步
people
和
working
历史
together, we
成
have
就
made
这是
historic
有目共
and
睹。
unprecedented
而且我们团队的目
progress
标
in
也
social
更
and
加
economic
明确，
development,
要
and we
维护
have
海拔
one very
3800
clearly
以
defined
上
goal,
种植
and that is
耐寒
to
早熟的
cultivate
青稞品种，
the
探索
cold
不同生
resistant
态区域
winter
最佳的
barley that can grow at the altitude of more than 3,800 meters, so that we can truly make great technological support to plateau agriculture, so that we can improve agricultural production and support the peaceful coexistence of man and nature. One of my masters told me that we are rooted on the planet, but we have to carry with us the whole picture of the country. And in about 3 months, the winter barley will become ripe, and it's a very beautiful scene. I hope that you can find time to visit Xizang. I believe that as long as we work together, we can deliver a beautiful Xizang in the future. Thank you very much to Dawa, and thank you to all the 3 CPPCC members for answering the questions. Thank you to all the journalists. And this is the end of today's Members Corridor. On the morning of March the 10th, we're going to host the 3rd Members Corridor. Please stay tuned. Thank you very much.
You've been watching what we call the Members Corridor here, where CPPCC members, that's China's political advisors, take the opportunity to address members of the press. A total of 9 members have spoken, briefing the media about progress and achievements in their respective fields, where they drew inspiration from what proposals to put forward for the course of the 2 sessions this year. And let's talk about all of this with my studio guest here, Professor Jiang Gong. Professor, let's start with the member from Xizang, or commonly known as Tibet in the English-speaking world. On the surface, he was talking about the cultivation of barley winter barley,
yeah, right.
But really that goes to show the efforts of ecological and environmental protection that is very much going on in Xizang. What is your impression of what this member said particularly?
Well, I learned a lot. Actually, it's an education experience for me as well. Especially, he spent quite a bit of a time to talk about the winter barley, a new crop, I guess, that they're developing. And he's actually a researcher, I guess, right? But I think, my takeaway is that Xizang is undergoing a lot of progress. And especially, I think, on the agricultural side, the fact that, they're devoting this kind of resources to develop a new crop certainly will have implications for the farmers in Tibet, in Xizang, and people, do have another new round of crops in a year, and it certainly will increase income for these people. So I think it's a good thing for that region, and I think. This goes back to the Western acquisition that China is ruining Xizang or Tibet. Sometimes they say it's a cultural invasion. This is not true at all. I mean, look at the new technologies, new science and technologies being brought to that region, and creating new things and make life better for people in Xizang.
Can we spend some time on Xinjiang as well? Because the member from Xinjiang, it's incredible to hear and learn the amount of money and resources poured into making water accessible to local villagers, and especially drinking water available.
110,000 yuan.
That's a lot of money per household.
Per household. I guess it's the money spent on drilling a well and add the water softening and purifying equipment, and that's a lot of money. I think, Xinjiang's being accused of, genocide even, right? I mean, talking about 110,000 yuan per household.
For reference, that's about that's about $15,000 US.
Exactly. Yeah, it's about 15,000.
Yep.
$15,000. I mean, I know in the United States, if you want to dig a well or drill a well, it's about the same amount of money. I mean, 10,000 to 15,000 is a reasonable amount for a water system, and we're spending the same kind of money for each household. This is money from the government, and tell me, where can you, in the world, can find a place government spends that kind of money for the household, let alone, this is genocide? Come on, give me a break, right?
Yeah, it's a combination of efforts. We're not just talking about monetary measures. It's also, as you mentioned, technological advancements brought to that region to benefit the livelihoods of the ordinary people. At the end of the day, it's the ordinary people, it's the local villagers who lack resources, who lack money, who lack technology.
Right.
They benefit directly from those measures. Professor, I also want to talk to you about the jaw-dropping phenomenon of Harbin last year, which saw huge success in its tourism sector, in its ability to attract out-of-towners to visit Harbin. Is that sustainable? Obviously, you don't want it for just one season. You want it to be a consistent theme to have Harbin elevated to one of the top destinations in winter and preferably in summer as well. How can they sustain that fame?
I think, first of all, I think that phenomenon is going to be very sustainable. So many cities in China are vying for that model, right?
Exactly.
The municipal government spending resources to develop a unique kind of an image, a unique reputation to attract tourists. And I think this phenomenon is going to go on. And there's intense competition among cities in China. The challenge for that city is how to leverage off that celebrity status for 2 weeks during the spring break, during the spring festival season, and develop the economy on top of this. I think that's a big challenge, and also it's an issue that we talk about sustainability of that thing. And I think the tourism industry certainly adds to the city's economic development, but I think at the end of the day you have to have some industries that are having more value added activities. I think surrounding this tourism alone, there could be other things. For example, develop unique products, souvenirs, other winter season vacationing, skiing, for example. I'm very interested in skiing in Harbin, right? There's some good skiing spots near the city. These kind of things are, contribute to more sustainable economic activities into the future.
It's a strong start. You're going to have to, back it up with something to build on off this fame. Excuse me, off this fame and popularity.
Exactly.
It's not just Harbin; it's other cities as well that have had a great year, and they're now thinking about Zibo, for example.
For barbecue.
Zibo barbecue. How do we cap off barbecue? Because you can't really pop up a city economy just by people buying barbecue. You're going to have to, expand into other sectors as well. As you mentioned, Professor, I believe we do still have some time here. Can we also talk about education where we're left off? About there was a member that talked about the necessity of good teachers, of good schools, good universities. But we were talking about the challenges universities face in churning out this many graduates. They're going to have to really help their graduates understand the structural changes, the structural upgrades in our economy right now, and really help their graduates navigate their way towards where there are more jobs, towards where machines can't replace jobs in the short term. Help us understand that process.
I think the person is a president for a normal university in Hubei province, and I still think that topic is very much relevant. I mean, the technological implications do touch upon universities like this, the normal university. I mean, they educate high school, middle school future teachers. And I think future teachers can be very different. And this is also a topic relevant to my university, UIB, University of International Business Economics. I think the future business education, also education in economics and law and other areas are going to be very different. The kind of employment that the industry is looking for is also very different. So I think this is a moment that university leadership, I'm actually talking to the university leadership at my university as well, it's a time to really think about the future, about profound change that technology, AI is going to bring to the university communities. How do we adjust to that? How do we adapt to that? To educate the future university students for a new career job market, and that's a huge challenge.
I mean, let's talk about that process. I mean, we're talking about changes to the curriculum, obviously, the mentality, probably educational methods that come with a different and upgraded curriculum. And also you're going to have to train your students to be future-oriented in their own thinking, in the fields they choose when they go into their careers.
I'll give you an example. A lot of our students from my university go to the banking industry. I mean, you see these people at the bank lobbies, for example, branch lobbies, for example. I think in the future, these jobs will be gone. And I would raise a challenging question that maybe 1/3, maybe even 1/4 of our UIBR University's future students are going to face entirely different jobs. So I think this is a huge challenge to orient them towards a new, different job market, a new skill set, right? More adapted to technology development, software-based capabilities, analytic skills based on interacting with the machines and the software systems. These are the new jobs that are going to be available in the future. Not so much people just sitting in the bank branch lobbies and interacting with customers. It's going to be a totally different ballgame.
I mean, it's easier to see what's coming their way. I think it's easier to talk to your students and make them understand what's coming their way. What's challenging is how they adjust and adapt, and how their parents adjust and adapt their expectations as well. What would you advise them do, given this version, given this vision that some of the traditional jobs they might go for may not even exist there?
Well, I think my first advice would be actually to the university leadership. And the leadership, the presidents, the vice presidents, they have to adjust. The faculty members, we have to adjust. I think we have to come up with a adjusted set of curriculum for our students, and we also need to learn. And it's very important, I think, even faculty, human beings, it's human nature to stay with their comfort zone, don't want to venture into new areas, right? And I think this is not going to be, the ball game in the future. We have to adapt, we have to change, and we have to learn about new things, learn about new teaching methods, for example. These are the challenges, and I think, there's a pressure in the job market, people like me, like other younger faculty members, to adjust to the future, to cater to a new environment, I would say.
Okay, we also briefly talk about the opportunities, because we've talked about the possibility that some jobs might be replaced, but new jobs will be created, especially with the new quality productive forces, the breakthroughs in technology, in science, that could bring really new jobs to the market. What could be some of the future new jobs that maybe your students can go for?
Well, the conventional wisdom is they're talking about new, very much STEM-oriented jobs: science, technology, engineering, mathematics, right? And I think this is indeed happening. I think the Ministry of Education, for example, laid emphasis on in their future plan, they emphasis on education of STEM students, right? And actually, we're cutting back budgets on liberal arts and on other humanities and social science, for example. I see this happening. Economics is a social science, and I probably may not be very happy about this trend, but I think I can understand what's coming from. What the ministry is coming from. In the future, it's going to be very much a knowledge-based economy. So knowledge really means STEM knowledge, being the driving force, I guess. And we have to adjust to that, and it's a world that's going to be around the corner very fast. I'm very amazed at how fast these things are happening. Look at how fast the AI applications are being promoted right now, right? All of a sudden, many jobs are going to be gone in the future.
All right. Professor, thank you so much for your insight analysis, as always. Appreciate it. And in about an hour, Wang Yi, a member of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China Central Committee and China's foreign minister, will meet journalists at the media center in Beijing. He will take questions on China's foreign policy and diplomatic relations. CGTN will bring you the latest in our special coverage starting at 9:30 Beijing time or 01:30 GMT. Make sure you join us then. I'm Zhongshi. I'll see you a little bit later on. Thank you so much.